Welcome into another Running with the Timberwolves podcast. You kind of got to see how the sausage is made right there. My name is Gabe Anderson, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Emerson. Chris, how we doing?
Hey, man, we're doing great. We're still in the playoff hunt, but we got some things we can fix.
Okay, here's the thing. I seem to remember. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to give him a little crap here, but Andrew Dukowitz is an absolute genius. I love his show. You should check it out. He does a show after every single Wolves after every game. He does a post-game show. It's fantastic. You should check him out for sure. But I seem to remember that I was mentioning on the last podcast before all this went down that, man, I just want to build the bridge between us and the Phoenix Suns and the 7th seed. And back then, we were 3, and we were thinking, and a lot of people were thinking, oh, man, like we're nowhere close. Everything's going to be fine. Well, I look a lot better in that thinking now, because if you look at it, I think the Suns are 2 win the win column away from us. They have one more loss, and they play the Indiana Pacers tonight, who have been dreadful. They're creeping up on us, man. This is do or die time.
Yeah, it's not good. There's going to be a lot of movement in the standings. Like if you're a standings hawk and you want to keep in track of that,
which
the standings are going to be wild for the next couple of weeks, and the Timberwolves schedule is not going to help that.
No, it's not. In fact, getting right into it, the Wolves have the 8th hardest schedule left. And some of the other teams here, looking at the hardest schedule, the other teams around us do have a hard schedule. Denver has the 10th hardest. Phoenix has the 11th hardest. The Lakers have the 13th hardest. And Houston has the 21st hardest schedule. But I do want to remind people, and I tweeted this out as well, the Wolves don't have the tiebreaker, even with Phoenix. They don't have the tiebreaker with any of these teams, and they lost their first game to the Houston Rockets. Now, obviously, 2 more games against the Houston Rockets. I do believe that they are in the same week. I think like one's on a Wednesday and then one's on a Sunday. But I was getting to the points where we were thinking, oh man, like we've got some space here, but not anymore.
Yeah.
F around and find out. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, it's been pretty ugly for the Wolves since February. It is what it is. We haven't been playing well. We haven't been passing the ball. We haven't been doing anything that we need to do to play good basketball. It seems to be mainly Anthony Edwards hunting MVP votes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, particularly last couple games. Let's just get to some of these comments here. Let's just get right into it. Who do you think goes all the way this year? Let's just answer that question, because I think it's the Thunder until proven otherwise. I really do. I think the Knicks have a chance, to be honest with you. I do think that they could pull a couple good games out of Karl Anthony Towns in the playoffs, but I think the Thunder are going to go all the way.
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs are going to be tough.
Yep.
It comes down to probably just health, on some of these teams. Boston might be I mean, there's definitely a handful of elites. I'm never going to count out Denver. Like, Jokic is just that type of guy where he can win a series. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and thanks for the comment. By the way, if you got a comment, make sure to put it in the comments, and we'll put it on screen and talk about it. Thank you so much to George Uriki 4493. Welcome to the stream. And by the way, also, if you're watching, make sure to give it a like. It helps spread the show to more people on Twitter and on YouTube as well. But let's get into some of the specifics of these last 3 games here. The Wolves in the last 3 games, they have the worst plus minus per game, and that's even worse than the Indiana Pacers, who are trying to win the lottery. They have the 2nd worst defensive rating. Only the only one that has a worse defensive rating is the Memphis Grizzlies, who are also, as we saw, trying to get into the lottery. But what overall has stood out these last three games that's different from the rest of the season so far? Like, what has been the biggest problem over these last three games where the Wolves, let's be honest, are getting destroyed?
Well, I mean, I think the problem with the last 3 games is we've played quality opponents. I think this style of play has been like this all year for us. I mean, if you look at our yearly, standings right now, or I guess I'm just looking at, like, the last 15 games, for example, we're bottom 3rd of the NBA in assists. Like, and
Yep.
the bottom third of the NBA is trying to lose. So, like, we're right on the verge of being as bad as these teams that are purposely trying to lose. We're down there in rebounding also. We're down there in stats that matter. And we just don't play with energy. We don't play with, team cohesiveness. We're not moving the ball as a team. And all season, it's kind of been bailed out by almost historic 3-point percentage. Like the
Yep.
team has been shooting lights out um, all season. And just like anything, averages usually come home. You can
Yep.
flip a quarter 4 times and get heads each time. That doesn't mean you're going to get heads 1,000 in a row. So our 3-point shot has been bad since February. And now we're playing teams that matter. Like Anthony Edwards hitting a last second shot versus a tanking team. We've been saying those wins are wins, but they're not
Yep.
pretty. And now it's starting to kill us because we're playing teams that aren't terrible. Like we were
Right.
winning, we were barely beating terrible teams. And we're acting like, we're world beaters, but we're not. We're playing bad. And now those bad habits are coming to show.
I remember because we've been doing this show for a while, and if you've been with us, thanks for sticking with us for sure. But I remember the Wolves used to have this problem of basically the one bad quarter. Like they'd play pretty much 500 ball throughout three quarters, and then one would just be a blow up. And we've been having that bad quarter these last three. Against the Magic, it was the second quarter. We lost it 33-20. In the Lakers game, it was the third quarter, 39-23. In the Clippers game, it was the fourth quarter, 44-30. And of course, they got out on that run. I mean, the Clippers game was over the second where they come down, hit a three, turnover, they hit another three. That's absolute game over. So in those bad three quarters, the Wolves are averaging a minus 14.3. In the rest of the quarters, now this doesn't sound great, but remember all these three games were blowouts. They're averaging a minus 2.5. So we're falling victim to the horrible quarter. And what do you think that equates to? Like, why are we falling victim to this?
Again, we're not playing good basketball. I mean, if you don't play good basketball and you're not bailed out by shots,
Yeah.
it's gonna bite you. It's a game of runs. The NBA is a game of runs, and if you can't make a run to answer back, it's nasty. I mean, I saw a stat since February 1st. Jaden's shooting 34% from three. Julius is shooting 21%, and Nas is
Yep.
shooting 27%.
Yep.
That's, I mean, those are other than Anthony Edwards, like we don't have anyone else that has even really attempts to score. And between Jaden and Nas, that's kind of the only way that those two score right now is shooting
Right.
threes. So, um, if we're not playing team ball and those 3-pointers aren't falling, you don't really have much.
Right. And Julius Randle, we got to talk about that because I guess we're being called out for not being mean enough to Julius Randle, even though I think we have been to a fine degree. But he has just been horrible. I mean, he has been
Yeah.
flat out bad. I mean, like post All-Star break, and I know that it was starting to go south before then. 39% from the field, 16% from three, 14 points per game, which he was up around 21. I think he's 21 for the season, but probably 22% before. 4 assists per game to 3 turnovers. I mean, the thing
Yeah.
about Randall that we were talking about was, oh man, he's a mini Jokic, right? Like he spreads the floor, he makes everything go, but not so much anymore. And he's not finishing at the rim either. He's having a lot of situations where it almost looks like he's Gobert, where he just can't get the fin or get the ball to go in around the basket. I mean, what's going on with him? I seem to remember a post game interview after a win right before the All-Star break where he said, like, this is the fun time, this is go time, like this is when I step on the gas and go. Is he just trying too
Yeah.
much? Do you think it was maybe like him not making the All-Star team that's still affecting him, or something else affecting him? Because like he's got to snap out of it if we have any chance to
Oh yeah.
do anything in the playoffs. And fans can say, "Oh, we should have traded him at the trade deadline." Guess what? We don't have that option anymore. Whether no matter what you think, if we should have got rid of Randall or not, that doesn't matter because he's on this team.
Right.
We're not going to just dump him or stop playing him. What's going on with Randall, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is again, averages come back to home. Like he started out shooting, 50% from three. That was never going to happen. He's a 34% three-point shooter. So you're going to have dips. He's definitely not confident in his shot right now. I mean, I saw in March right now, his three-point percentage is 15%,
Yep.
and in February it was 22%. So like
And
when
and
when you're not hitting
and
that,
since last month, he's taking one less attempt, almost more than one less attempt. So he's missing more and taking less as well.
well, I mean, if you're shooting 12 15%, I'm glad that you're shooting less.
Yeah, right.
Um, but I mean, to be a little supportive of this guy, he picked up his rebounding lately. I know he's at 8 rebounds a game this month, which is high. Since the All-Star break, he's still, I think, second on our team in scoring. I still think he's leading our team in assists since the All-Star break, and I think he's second in rebounds. So like he's still making things happen. It's just not at the level he was. Like, and that's the thing with expectations. If you come into the season as a 21-point scorer, 7 rebound guy, 6 assists, we expect that. And without anyone else on this team that's really an offensive threat other than Anthony Edwards, it really sticks out because no one else is picking up the slack. Like,
Right.
yeah, he's having a bad, month and a half now. But you would like to be like, oh, Nas has stepped up and, really put something in, or, one of our bench guys like Bones. The problem is we just don't have anyone else that can pick up slack when guys are down. I don't know if it's his back injury. I don't know if his explosiveness isn't there around the rim. He doesn't look like he's really exploding anymore. He's more using his bulk. We'll see. But like you said, if he doesn't get back to scoring 20 points a game, we're dead in the water as a team
Oh yeah.
because we only really have him and Edwards. Like they're 90% of our offense.
Yeah, and almost to a detriment. I mean, I was listening to Locked On Wolves with Ben Beacon. By the way, great podcast. Another great podcast for you guys to check out if you haven't. But he was just talking about how the Wolves are set in their ways, and Chris Finch wants to run, and I think Andrew was talking about this too. He wants to run like a free flowing, like San Antonio Spurs
Yeah.
offense, where it's just ball movement, backdoor cuts, almost kind of look with the Warriors. But like with the clientele that he has with Ant and Randall, you just can't do that. I know Andrew Dukowitz was talking about how, like Julius needs everyone to be in the spot. Like it's not really flowing. Like he needs to know that if he picks
His
up his dribble
isolation.
or jumps past, that someone is going to be where he's supposed to be. It's not free flowing. And Ant, like I said, when I was watching him last night, throwing or just turnover after turnover with Chris Dunn, which, by the way, Chris Dunn, I know people like to label him as a draft bust, but he's carved himself out a nice little niche. And this is not me saying that the Wolves shouldn't have got rid of him or anything, but hey, he's kind of turned his career around a little bit from the assumptions here in Minnesota. But I'm yelling at Ant, for God's sakes, how about a little back cut? Like, honestly,
Won't do it.
just a little jab, get the defender going that way, cut to the basket. For God's sakes, it's unbelievable that they're so stagnant. And I mean, most of the ball handling happens outside of the perimeter. About I would
Oh yeah.
say 60 to 70% of the possession is just outside of the perimeter. Now, I know you can't play 90s basketball anymore, and that's dead, and that's never coming back. We're never dumping the ball to Rashko Nesterovic or Darko Milicic anymore and letting them go. But, like, for God's sakes, get some ball movement. Move the ball a little bit. Get something happening. And I just don't know if this team can do that on a consistent basis.
We can. I mean, and we've proved it. And we've proved it over multiple years. We've said it on this podcast for 2 years now. We have two stars right now, or two guys that are an offensive that the team even has to care about offensively is Randall and Edwards. And the only way for us to win is we would have to have our third star be ball movement, team ball movement. And it's going to have to be like noticeable. Like, oh man, they're hitting a bunch of cuts. Like you see teams do that.
Mhm.
The Clippers, for example, were cutting, from the 45 all the time, keeping action flowing. We don't do it, and we haven't done it, since Anthony Edwards has made his ascension, really. And it's a huge flaw, and it's going to be that way until we have, a come to Jesus moment as a team. Like, hey, we're not here to try to win MVP. We're not here to try to, score 50 a game. We're here to try to win the game. And I'm just not sure that this team is mature enough. Like we spoke last week on. I think there's some huge flaws in the quote unquote core of this team that isn't going to allow us to ever play the way Chris Finch wants.
Absolutely. And we'll keep talking about this and talk about Io and Kyle Anderson's contributions in 30 seconds. Today's show is brought to you by 612tees.com. Cole at 612tees designs awesome shirts for yourself or the Wolves fan in your life. Check them out at 612tees.com and use the promo code RUN25 at checkout, or just click on the link in the description to get 25% off your purchase. That's at 612tees.com. Link in the description. Yes, use promo code RUN25 at checkout to get 25% off your purchase. 612tees.com, or use the link in the description. Yeah, but getting back to our conversation here, the Wolves, I'm not the last three games. Now, full disclosure, I actually went to the land of basketball this weekend. I went to Indiana, so I did miss the Magic game, but
Good.
These last two games I've not been excited to watch at all for two reasons.
No.
One, because it's on at fucking 10 o'clock at night. God damn it. Why are we doing 10 o'clock games? Like, give us a break here. It's not even the playoffs. The playoffs I'll deal with. If we get let's say we're playing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals and the game is at midnight, I don't care. It's the Western Conference Finals. I'll watch it. I'll plan around it. But a random Tuesday night game in LA at 10 o'clock at night where we play terrible and the game isn't going to be over till about like 12:30 on it. No, I'm not messing with that. That's horrible.
I love the late games, but they have to, like, there has to be a reason to watch it. Like if I was watching the Lakers game and I'm like, nope, like it's easy to see what's happening. And if the team is playing terrible, like I have no interest, so I'm
Right.
not gonna punish myself for that. So yeah, we've looked ugly and I hope it changes, but I'm not sure it's gonna.
What do you think of Ant? And I know we talked about Andrew Dukowitz with this before. What do you think of Ant's token response to all this? That he says like, I got to be better. It's all me. It's all me. That which is basically how Andrew Dukowitz said that he handles stuff and then he goes in the tape and then breaks it down. Do you like that, or do you think it's just his like response that he puts up, almost like his tagline to
Corporate
throw out there
answer.
so he looks good? Like, do you believe it or no?
I mean, It's a corporate answer. It's what you say in an interview when you're asked that, as the quote unquote star leader. He's saying the right things. Um, you know, I don't think it's gonna matter. I just don't think we have the pieces that'll matter. And unless he comes out and he legitly only wants to score 20 points a game and he wants to lead, he's never had 10 assists in his life in an NBA game. So like he needs to be that type of guy on this team for us to win. And I just don't see it happening.
All right, let's go into kind of the bench so far. Io DeSumo and Bones Highland. Bones has been a nice spark off of the bench, which is kind of I guess, the silver lining in all
Right.
of this. Interesting stat here about Io. The bench before we got Io, uh, 43% from the field, 35% from three, 33 points per game. The bench after we got Io, 47% from the field, 33 points per game, and 32% from three. So if you look at it stats wise, really, Io hasn't had too much of an effect on the death of the bench, or I guess the output of the bench. But I actually thought that he's been pretty good. Now, obviously, the outlier is you could have had Giannis, right? Like, who knows how
Maybe.
lucrative that could have been. And we spent 2 weeks talking about that. But I think the silver lining is Io's actually, and Bones too. They've been pretty nice finds for the Wolves here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, Nas has got that J. Cole curse. Ever since J. Cole, referenced him in a song, he's shooting like, 25% from three. So like that's not helping those stats on the bench scoring. I don't think that Io or Bones, you can throw darts at them. I don't think that they're the problem. Like we said earlier, I think Bones is going to end up being what makes or breaks this team in the playoffs. Like he is going to have to be impactful. Like he's going to have a presence on almost every game because we don't have anyone off the dribble that can play point and can deliver us the kind of change of pace or change of style that Bones gives us. So he's super valuable, and it's been great to see him even being as impactful as he has. But it has to be consistent.
So let's get to it on Bones. They were talking about, I think, I can't remember if it was the Laker game. Well, no, the nationally televised one. What's your opinion on Bones Highland hitting a three and then doing a celebration even down 20? Are you a fan of that to kind of like, rally the troops a little bit and get everyone going and maybe do a spark, or down 20? Nah, like keep it to yourself. What do you think?
I don't care. Like I don't think it means anything. I think like the broadcast and the fans have been the ones that are really pushing for that little wavy thing that he does, the heat wave he likes to call it. Um I think it kind of has taken the fun out of it. Yeah, because now it's like a thing everyone's looking for or whatever. I don't think it matters. It is the game and yeah, I don't think much into it to be honest.
Although I know we talked about it before on the show, I don't put it in the same boat as celebrating too early. Like what we
Right.
pulled out, and like Andrew Dukowitz was talking about the Mike Conley thing where they're up four and the team celebrating already. I don't put
Right.
it on that. I think it's just his thing. And honestly, Bones, I'm happy for him. I mean, you could go back on this channel, and we've been wanting Bones on this team for a long time, and I think it's been nice.
Yeah.
Imagine if we didn't do anything and we don't have Bones or Io on this team, and it's Mike Conley. Yikes! Yikes! In that scenario, I mean, Mike Conley is just done, and even I think that's gotten to Chris Finch where he's figured out, like, maybe even Mike's talked to him like, I don't got it anymore. I I
I can't
I
play.
don't
Yeah.
got it anymore. Hey, let me ask
So
this.
then he went with tall. No
Yeah,
go.
no. I was going to ask you if let's say that the Wolves get bounced in the first round, right? Let's say they lose in 5 or something. What bandwagon
Yeah.
are you jumping on?
For teams to watch?
Yeah, like who are you gonna watch this playoffs if the Wolves gets bounced early or don't even make it through the play-in? Let's not put it past them. Like I'm
Is
worried about this team right
are the
now.
Hornets in? If
They're
the
in the
Hornets
play-in
are in,
right
I'm
now.
watching the Hornets. Yeah, so I would jump on the Hornets bandwagon. I would jump on that's probably it. I would probably just turn into a Hornets fan and watch them play. Hope they make a run.
I I'm trying to think who I would in the Eastern Conference. I mean, you want to talk about a absolute free fall, kind of like us. The Raptors have completely free fallen, and honestly, that win that we had against them isn't looking as good as it once did because the Raptors have free fallen
Right.
into the 7th seed. We got a question here. What rank are the Wolves? They are the 6th seed right now, currently the 6th seed, but fingers crossed. I mean, honestly, teams that I would watch, the Magic intrigue me. They're kind of putting it all together. Right now, I'm wondering if they can make a run. Of course, they've kind of been branded as a bad team. I was intrigued about the 76ers because I thought they were getting it together, but now it looks like Maxey might be hurt for a little bit, and who knows if they even have enough to make a run. I would like to, although I hate watching Embiid, to be completely honest. But then in the Western Conference, like you said, the Nuggets, I know it's sacrilegious, and I think I just saw 4 people leave the stream because of that. But I do like watching Jokic. I think he is an amazing player,
Yeah.
and I think he's the best player in the world for a reason. But yeah, like I said at the top, I think this is the Thunder's to lose. I really do. Now I know the Nuggets took them to 7 games last season, but I honestly think that the Thunder have even gotten better since then. And then we got a question here. Do you think the
Well,
Wolves
I
will
mean,
make the playoffs? I do think they will eventually make the playoffs. I don't know in what capacity, but it would be an absolute disaster if they didn't make the playoffs, at least as like a 6 or 7 seed. Like, what do you think, Chris? Do you think they'll eventually make the playoffs?
yeah.
I think they will.
They'll make them, but like we've said in the past, I wanna know how they're going to be playing at the last 5, 10 games of the year. Like, I don't care so much about seeding, and I never really have. I just care about eye test, and I wanna see a team that's playing, team basketball, hard defense, like, all that. If that's not happening, I don't care if we're the 4th seed, the 3rd
Right.
seed, or in the play-in, we're not gonna go very far.
Right. And I do want to preface this. We were kind of down on the Wolves last year and they made that run. So it's impossible
Yeah.
to really count this team out. We're still saying optimistic. It's just hard to stay optimistic after those last 3 games that have just been disastrous. The good news is on paper the Warriors are very beatable and they've been super down lately and they should get that win against the Warriors. I mean, if they don't beat the Warriors without Steph, we're just end the season. Like it's to that point because then you got the Thunder next. Like if they lose to the Warriors and the Thunder, I would not be surprised with how the Suns are playing. If we wake up on Monday morning and they're in the 7th seed, I would not be surprised whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about on paper, like, we still should be a good team. Like,
Yeah.
we're just not playing well. Like, there's a metric that I've talked about on here. It's from Hoops Hype, and they've got a global ranking system where they rank players based on like all the metrics they can have, how many games they've played, and like how impactful you are. The common guys, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's one, Jokic is up there, Luca, Cunningham, all top 5, Tarek Maxey. We're like the only team that has 2 guys in the top 15. Like Edwards is 13, Randall is 15 so far on global impact over the board. Like we have a couple dogs, they just have to play well together. And like you said, we can pick it up. And Anthony Edwards has been that type of guy who picks it up come playoff time. So, he might turn into Superman. We'll see.
Right.
But it's still not it's still not great.
Also, I'm going to say two things that some Wolves fans are not going to like, but screw it. That's what we do on the show. Shea Gilders Alexander is an
Usually.
absolute bucket. And I don't care about the foul baiting stuff because I think it's over exaggerated. And I think that every player foul baits. And I think when it comes down to it, Shea Gilders Alexander, particularly where the team is right now, should be the MVP of the league. And then I will also say Nikola Jokic, like I said earlier, is the best player in the league. I'm sorry, hands down. I know he had a tough month, but he is fantastic. So yeah, like I do think it gets overblown. The Shea, he's ruining the league. He's ruining the. How many people have we say are ruining the league? Like how many? And then we say that the league is broken because of tanking and everything. Maybe nothing's broken. Maybe things are just changing, and maybe you just don't like the change. I don't know. I actually enjoy watching Shea Gildas Alexander, and I will die on that hill. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, no, I definitely hate his style. I do. I hated Paul Pierce's style. I hated Harden's style. I hate not Wembenyama, Embiid. I hate like these
Giannis.
guys that they bait the ref, they take dives to try to get a call. It's super annoying. But what I think really hurts SGA is again, you can't touch him, but his team is allowed to grab and hold and be
Yeah.
extra physical. So he kind of gets punished because the league lets their entire roster of OKC be way over the top physical. Um, and then you can't touch him. So there's just such a bias there, such a peaks and valley that it looks nasty. But yeah, I mean, he's a great player. He knows how to control the game, and that's the step that Anthony Edwards needs to take.
Yeah, for sure. And but my point for that is that's not Shea's fault. Like that's him just playing smart. There's a difference
Yeah,
between ruining the game and playing smart. And I'll say another thing. Luca against us, he dominated us on both
yeah,
sides of the ball. Luca had a fantastic defensive game against the Wolves. He was getting steals, he was poking it away, he was causing havoc. I mean, people say that Luca is a traffic cone sometimes. He wasn't on Tuesday night. He was making it very difficult for us. It was a great defensive and offensive performance, particularly in the second half from Luka Doncic. And I thought that was a statement performance for him on national TV. I really did.
for sure. I mean, he's going up against Anthony Edwards, which is a media darling right now. And yeah, defense is effort. Like guys that are great at defense, there's some science to it, but mostly it's effort and raw athleticism. So yeah, he knows how to turn up effort when need be. I don't ever buy the 6'8" super freak, amazing offensive basketball player absolutely can't play defense. I just don't buy it. It's an effort thing. He'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I guess my main point is let's stop complaining about the star NBA players and realize that we are probably in one of the best eras ever for talent in the NBA. I mean,
Oh
I know there's so much
no
tanking
doubt.
going on, but these guys are doing what people in the 90s could dream of doing. And it's absolutely amazing. There's a new guard coming out with, Curry, Durant soon basically being out the door. And this new guard has got us in pretty good hands. Even watching Tyrese Maxey earlier this year, I mean, he's a bucket. He's an
Stud.
absolute bucket. I mean, I think when the old guard of LeBron and Durant and Curry dies out, this league is going to be in fantastic hands.
100%. And guess what? There's kids that are 5, 6 years away from going pro that are better than the guys that are here now. Like that's
Right.
how human evolution works. That's how sports science works. Yeah. I mean, it's only going to get better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to end it there. We got the Warriors coming up. We got to win this game or we are screwed pretty much. So, yeah, I would go into this Warriors game thinking it's like game 7 of the World Series for the Wolves. And I know that's crazy going against Guy Santos and the Spencer brother, but like we need this win more than like a human needs water on a day-to-day basis. If we lose this game in Golden State and have no momentum going into OKC, which is a place where we have not done well recently, particularly if you look in the playoffs. I mean, we could, like I said, we could be looking at the 7th seed pretty quick here.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know how much Chris Finch wants. Like the starters played all game last night till the end, and people were mad at that. And I said, I think it's because Chris Finch wants these guys to sit in their own filth for a bit. You know, like you
Yep.
made this nasty mess by the way you're playing. Sit here and be out here to the end getting your butt stomped. There might be some of that if we lose to Golden State, where it might be that straw that broke the camel's back, where some of our guys will realize, okay, we do have to play different. We'll see. But if there's not a drastic change, I don't see us. I mean, Golden State is a team that's scrappy and hustles and moves without the ball.
Yep.
That's the last type of team that we want to play right now, you know? So it's not a for sure thing we get this win.
No, I know, but we need it. We absolutely need it.
Yes.
Conley, we're paying you. Get the fucking team together and do a team meeting. Figure it out. That's what you're here for. You're not here to play anymore. Ingles, you two, get the team together. Get it. Make at least try. Do something. Do something because this team is an absolute shit show right now. So anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, man. It was great again.
Absolutely. And this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and or Apple. And as always, go Wolves and be better, Timberwolves. For God's sakes, be better.